everybody, and welcome to Positive Fandom. I am your host, Artem. And of course, today we have with us Lorena Creole. Lorena, how are you tonight?
I am doing great, doing awesome, and so excited to finally see the conclusion of this mini series. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we have been so patient with this, and they were very clever. They pretty much have held us in this position where we are just waiting, for so long. And there was a little gap in when, we could see the next episode. We had to wait for that. And then, of
Mhm.
course, now we're at a point where we, are at a finale, but it's actually the mid-season finale. It's the mid-season, just like what I was talking to you about earlier, Lorena. Just like what they used to do with The Walking Dead. The creators of Outlander decided to show the first 8 episodes for season 7 in 2023, and the next 8 episodes will be in 2024. So we have to wait a whole year.
It's insane.
It's nuts. And I have to say, they haven't let us down this season. It started off in the 1700s, right before the Revolutionary War, and it seems like
Mhm.
your families together. You had Jamie, the father, Claire, Brianna, and her husband and child together. And certainly, it seemed like they were having just an absolutely wonderful and happy life, only for it to be opening up with Claire, who was about to be hanged. What a way to open
Yes.
the season. And it was quite shocking to see that. But I think it is very interesting that Jamie managed to find her, and Claire's ability, her expertise in being a doctor essentially is one of the things that saved her. We certainly saw how she was able to help this lady who was on a boat, and it took her out of, let's say, the gallows, or away from the gallows. uh,
Mhm.
just absolutely unbelievable. And thank goodness she did have the ability to do that. And of course, the biggest shocker of that episode was declaration. I can't even say it, from
Mhm.
Christie, who ends up not only telling her that he loves her, but he's willing to go to jail for her, Lauren. He's willing to do time. Willing.
He's willing to hang for her. I'm like, dang, just when you thought it couldn't get any more bizarre about, guess what? I'm in love with you, and guess what? I'm gonna take your place instead.
And in the previous seasons, he was so against her because she was kind of like, as you say, like Dr. Quinn, right? She's like
Mhm.
Dr. Quinn, medicine woman. But and even in previous century, and he really was against her. And I don't believe he was a Quaker, but he was very strong in his faith, and where he believed that that was not a woman's place. So he was quite, convinced that that was the case. And to learn that he secretly was in love with her was quite a confession.
That was nuts. I did not see that coming. That came straight out of left field.
And she was shocked too. She was like, "Oh." And I'm thinking to myself, she's probably not even thinking about the fact that she's not going to jail or anything like that. She's wondering, like, well, what is this gonna mean? Like, what does it mean when
Mhm.
a man who's pretty much been your enemy now has confessed that he's been in love with her all this time? Really, I just was so shocked. In the next episode, we find that it was very interesting. Diana Gabaldon decided to kind of reference Disney, and I thought it was so funny at a time when Disney is, I guess, maybe somewhat more controversial than ever
Mhm.
before. Disney kind of pops up in the story, and this it becomes an issue in a sense because Brianna, their daughter, has a child, and the child unfortunately needs modern medicine to survive.
Yes.
And so that tells Bree and her husband that they absolutely have to go back to modern times, which is in this case 1980, so their daughter can actually live and get the medical treatment she needs. And at some point, she tells her father, Jamie, about Disney, and I just thought it was so funny that it was that situation. But at the same time, we have quite a traumatic episode where this event where another time traveler goes up to the Frasers and says, I want your stones. I want you to give me everything you have. And then lights
Mhm.
a match in the house and opens up the ether, literally, and blows up the house. And we didn't know. Well, actually, we knew, but let's just say, technically speaking, we didn't know that they survived that fire, because a lot of the reasons why the daughter came back was to warn her parents that,
Mhm.
there's going to be a fire, and that you guys, according to history, it says that you guys died in this fire, and only for them to kind of succumb, or at least be in their home while this happens. Now, incidentally, um, they survive it. But they decide that they want to go to Europe in the next episode. And I can't blame them. The house is burned down. Everything has kind of crumbled. Things aren't what it used to be. And
Mhm.
meanwhile, Brianna and her husband are back in our time, 1980, in Scotland. And they find out that not only are they surprised and happy that they're in, kind of like near her ancestral home, but they find out that
Mhm.
it's for sale, and they
Yes.
make a bid on the house. And
Mhm.
it's an undertaking that they're not prepared for, because it's an incredibly expensive and huge undertaking. So that
Mhm.
happens in that
Yes.
episode. I think it's also very interesting that Brianna decides to take this job at a local dam, in the area, and she finds a portal inside the dam. These guys think they're playing a joke on her. They lock her in the dam, and she finds an actual kind of portal or some sort of interesting.
Yeah.
So that was kind of interesting. And in back into the 1700s, Jamie's son Will, who's a soldier, ends up befriending Ian, who was raised amongst the Mohawk, I think it's the Mohawk Indians, and he ends up saving Will from an injury that he sustains, and brings Will to these friends, literally friends, Quakers,
Mhm.
friends,
Yes.
they're known as friends, right? Who help and William to recover. And Ian kind of likes the sister, and so does Will. Like every man seems to like this girl. She is very sweet. She's
Mhm.
incredibly kind and sweet. And what's really interesting is that when Will knows that he has to travel to to New York to deliver these papers, he's some special papers on him. He's still
Right.
with the brother and sister, and they end up staying with another, let's say, sect of the friends, the Quakers, the society friends. And it turns
Mhm.
out that one of the persons is he's kind of an abuser, and but he doesn't realize that Will is not a Quaker. So this man thinks he can like knock the girl around, knock
Mhm.
brother around. But when he gets to Will, Will's like, I don't think so, mister. And they escape with their lives thanks to Will, who is a soldier, of course. In the British, I guess the British Army, he's a soldier, and
Mhm.
he saves their lives. And I thought that was really interesting. Um, Outcome, because certainly that brother and sister would have just become like slaves to this guy who was going to abuse them and force them to stay there, and they didn't know how to
Mhm.
respond to that. They're supposed to
Right.
um a conscientious objectors to war, or even fighting or
Mhm.
anything. So the notion of someone being an abuser and kind of taking advantage of them was not only shocking, but I'm sure that happened a lot, especially for two young kids, which they really
Mhm.
were very, very young. So finally, I'm almost to the end of my review, Lorena, I promise.
That's okay. Take your time.
Finally, Bree and her husband are able to settle in. But it
Mhm.
turns out that Bree's boss at the power plant is actually somebody who's overly interested in um, her family, and he goes into the husband's study at the castle that they just bought, and finds paperwork that's kind of like a guide to being a time traveler. Like, I guess this would be the time traveler version of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, right? And the husband has
Mhm.
been writing down his notes and everything that's been happening to him. And this guy, his name is Robert Cameron, I think. Um, I hope I'm saying that right. Yeah, Robert Cameron pretends to be their friend, but in actuality, he says, "Oh, this is really interesting, what you're
Mhm.
doing." Oh, hello. I can't pronounce that. Okay, Valves. By the way, hey, what's up to you? Welcome aboard.
Hello.
Well, we're gonna start this Outlander live watch party for season 7, episode 8, in a moment, and we're just doing our recap here. He Cameron pretends to be interested as a friend, but in actuality, he wants to be a time traveler. And very oddly, he kidnaps Bree's son. Um,
Mhm.
Mainly, I think because he wants to see if he can somehow travel, even though he doesn't hear the sound with the gems. He read in the diary that if you do a human sacrifice or something like that, you
Mhm.
can do it. And hello, Luminara 843. Hi.
Hello.
Luminar says, "Hey, ladies, I just stopped
Welcome.
in to say hi." Well, hi, Luminar. Hope you are
Hello.
well. Luminar is the queen of Figure Flex Fridays. Guys, do catch her on the 1/6 Scale Man Network for the Figure Flex Friday show, which I believe did it happen yet, Luminar? It might be a little bit later tonight, but guys, do check out the 1/6 Figure Flex with Luminara. And Luminara, it's such a pleasure to see you tonight. We also have Lugnut 6, Lorena.
Hey, lug nuts.
Lugnut says, and lo, God created two beautiful heavenly gems. Hello to the two heavenly paradises, and Lorena Creole. Well,
Oh,
hello to
thank you, lug nuts. You're so sweet.
we just love it so much. Right back at you with the hearts and the roses.
I
Couldn't
know.
ask for evening greeting. Lug nuts, you are the best. Um, and interestingly enough, Lorena, we're at a situation where Brie and her husband are terrified. Their child is gone, and they
Yes.
find the child's scarf near the stones. And at the same time, um, another relative of theirs pops up. Uh, it has to be a sign. He's actually her husband's grandfather who's
Mhm.
there. I'm not quite sure why he's there, but there must be some reason because Diana Gabaldon doesn't do anything by accident. Finally, as Jamie's son William is going off to the first battle of Saratoga, so is Jamie. And William is not even supposed to fight in this. He tells his commanding officer, I don't want to be a messenger. I want to go off to war. I want to fight.
Mhm.
And of course, he gets the shock of his life, the very first action he's ever seen, the first battle of Saratoga, watches his friends die.
Mhm.
And his commanding officer says, "Well, you're not the same person you were when you first started this. Like you're
Mhm.
very different now." And the episode cuts to a scene where you also see Jamie who's fighting, who's on the floor. You don't know whether he's alive or dead, and that is where they left us, Lorena. That is where they left us in episode.
Yes, exactly.
I hope my review was comprehensive enough.
But it was more than comprehensive.
Certainly, we've been enjoying these episodes so much, and there is a lot to take in. We don't know what's going to happen in this next episode. I don't know how they could not leave us with a cliffhanger when it's going to be episode 8 out of 16, right, Lorena? What do you think?
They will, and they're gonna leave us with something where we're just like, I can't believe you're gonna make us wait that long to watch it. So if they do their job right, which I'm sure they will, they're gonna do something to literally blow our minds and just like, wow.
I'm so excited for this. Lorena. I am so excited. I can't tell you how excited I am. I'm just literally going nuts for this. And I myself am playing the preview now, and they are showing us what happened. Guys, we're going to start at 59 seconds, which is essentially the first minute into the show, past
Hmm.
the previews where we're seeing a lot of what we discussed, right, Lorena?
Yes.
Certainly,
Hmm.
we get to see Ian with the lady who is his Quaker friend. Seems like everybody's fallen in love with this girl. Um,
Hmm.
and certainly Jamie, who doesn't want to fight in this war. But he found himself, they were going to go to Europe, Lorena, and he ends up getting pulled into this action and he doesn't want to. But there it is. There's nothing that can be done about it, right? Um,
Right.
and certainly, we don't know if Jamie is alive or dead. I'm hoping he's alive. I don't want to think of Jamie not being alive. That would be insane for Jamie not to be alive in this, Lorena. I don't even think I could. I don't know what I would do. Jamie didn't survive this. I'm sorry. Hey, Bonzo Kilborn, Outlander is a hit show
Hello.
that has. It's a very popular historical drama about a woman who finds herself traveling through time and ultimately finding the love of her life, Bonzo. So if you're into this sort of stuff, Bonzo, you should stick around.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if you're into this sort of thing, Bonzo, but certainly look up Outlander. It's an extremely popular international show, a huge show. I at Comic Con, they have a huge presence there. In New York Comic Con, I got a chance to meet this guy. I have to go point the other direction. Sam Heughan, who is the one of the main characters, Jamie, a huge star, international star. The show is on Stars, so you can watch along with us. And without further ado, we are going to start the show, Lorena. Let's go ahead and do this. Are you ready?
Yes, I am ready.
All right, 3, 2, 1, play.
Okay. And we are off.
My God, I'm so excited. Oh, these must be scavengers, right, Lorena?
Yeah. As they figure, hey, they're dead.
Oh, well, we got our answer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
And she dead serious too. Come at me, heifer.
Oh my God.
Come at me, heifer.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh shit. Oh my
Oh,
God.
come on. He's still breathing. I knew he was still living. I
Wow.
knew he was. You can't kill him all like that.
No, no, they can't. Oh my goodness gracious.
I love you too. I'm not dead. Isn't that good, right?
I'd be afraid to go out on the battlefield.
Heck yeah. Bullets flying all over the place and the crude medicine that they had. You get shot, guess what? We're going to saw your leg or your arm off.
Mm-hmm. Well, he looks okay, though, relatively speaking.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Oh, he is a little injured. He looks like
Mm-hmm.
he got a little something or another. Song. I think right about now, Bonzo Kilborn is like, yeah, I don't know about this show.
Like, nah, I don't think this is my thing. This looks like a chick series. I'm out. That's like when I tell people about K dramas, and guys are like, oh, no, my girlfriend or my wife is hooked on K dramas. I'm like, I know, they're so good.
Oh, goodness.
Mm, mm. Wow.
That's a lot.
Well, yeah, because they were doing the traditional battle where they basically stand there no matter what, and they march in, like an orderly line, and we were just taking pot shots at them because we knew they weren't going to move.
Yeah.
Now stay there.
Yeah, really. Don't go wandering off now.
Hmm. Now this was before the Red Cross, folks.
Hmm.
Oh my goodness.
Hmm.
Quaker.
Oh, unbelievable. Oh, wait, is this her brother? Is this the girl's brother?
Hmm.
Oh. Oh, she's coping.
Hmm.
Mm.
That's what a lot of people were saying when that was going on, because it took like years, and they didn't know if it was actually worth it to rebel against England, because they were, remember, at this time, the strongest military in the world, And in America, we were basically a maple republic, army made up of farmers and teachers and ministers. And though we did have the home field advantage, that's also the other thing, too. But
England had no reason to believe that they were not going to win.
that is exactly right. They had zero reason and thought, basically who's going to, who dare would oppose, the British Empire. France said, I'll take you up on that bet. Spain said, we'll support you clandestinely, but give us about a year or two or three to recover from the 7 Years' War. That's the other reason why their spy network was so important. That's why I love Turn.
Yes. Yes.
So he's basically going to be stoned for a little while.
Mhm.
That's
He's
pretty much what it is. That's strong stuff.
he's very lucky because she has kind of created some, or medications that she brought back with her from the
Mm-hmm.
future, so to speak, and he does have a huge advantage over a
Yes.
lot of the other soldiers out there.
Mm. So humble.
Hmm.
City. Just that man. Mm-hmm. Yep. And said if he only finds if there's just one, he wouldn't destroy the city.
Hmm.
Good night.
Yep. She looks so worried right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I know what she's thinking. She can't hook him up to an IV or a monitor or anything like that.
Nothing. So she doesn't know like what his vitals are or anything. She's not getting any sleep.
No. She has to make sure he doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. Now there's Bree, and she's terrified. Her son has been taken. So
Mm-hmm. The what?
oh,
Oh yeah. Um, the Spaniards had a lot of gold during the Revolutionary War, which is why British ships or privateers were given bounties to basically jack the Spanish treasure fleet. So the currency of the realm basically was the Spanish pieces of eight. And you can actually see a couple of those at the Museum of Valley Forge, the Revolutionary War.
I never thought that this would have been a motivation for this man to go back in time for gold. I wouldn't have
Hmm.
guessed that would have been a motivation. What do you think, Lorena? Are you surprised? And hello, Anonymous. How are you?
No. Um, kind of like yes and no. Um, One, considering how gold is, no matter where you are in the world, no matter what currency you use, you're always going to be able to use gold um, for that. And for that period of time where you had a couple of currencies, I mean, there wasn't such a thing as an American dollar, really. They had like regional notes. To have like Spanish or French gold, was like hitting the lottery. And you could use it for anything, to bribe anyone, to pay for anything. And while there's French gold, Spanish gold was basically, that's like the top of what you wanted, because of pieces of eight and how you could literally you could break it apart and use it.
Wow. Well,
And just imagine the worth modern day of finding Spanish pieces of eight. Even today, in up and down the Florida coast, people are always dredging because there's ships that have like sunk, and there's Spanish gold down there. Yeah, yeah, they look for that.
wow.
That's like hitting the darn lottery.
And Anonymous is asking me off topic, did I enjoy Greyhound? I did, Anonymous. It's a great film. If you haven't seen it, you should definitely check it out. And so glad you are
Mm.
here.
Claire just talked about they just talked about they're hoping to draw the French, or support of the French. That's
So,
right. We need to get the heck out.
mhm.
Oh shoot. Ah. Before preparation H.
Mhm. There was no good old castor oil and all those.
Yep. God, castor oil's disgusting.
Mhm.
Ugh. My grandmother, oh my God, my mom's mother used to give that to me when I was sick. Castor oil and like turpentine or Vicks. I'm like, I smell horrible.
Mhm. Now, this is a lady that he is absolutely enamored with. Um,
Hmm. Hello.
Mm.
Goose fat is the best fat fry stuffing. Woo!
Mm-hmm.
Valued even more than bacon grease.
Mm-hmm. Ooh. Oh, ooh, my hands. It just, oh dear.
Oh, well.
Oh, and Linda is here tonight. Hi, Linda.
Hi, Linda. Good
Ew.
seeing you, my dear. Hey, he said, I'm going for that.
Oh my gosh, Linda, we were at 21 minutes right here at the counter. Oh, oh, I thought he said I really enjoyed that slap too. That's what I thought
Yeah,
he said. Oh, just marry him. It's okay. You can get married.
because it is, of course, in that point in time, it was very, very untoward to be alone together if you were unmarried.
And the only reason why they're alone together now is because it's a battlefield, right, Lorena? The decorum
Hmm.
and the normal deportment is out of the window now.
Exactly. They're not in polite society, so
Hmm.
to speak.
And Linda, we missed you too. Good to see you here tonight. Oh, he knows how you feel, honey.
Oh,
Why?
you just missed it right now.
Yeah, she's touching him. She might as well just enjoy him.
Heck, oh, dang.
Yes, yes, yes.
He's letting you know what's going to be on.
That's right,
She's
Anonymous.
like,
Don't let him get away. No.
she
Oh,
has to. She's got to let him go.
I mean, they could have done other things. You know what I mean?
But then it wouldn't leave us wanting more.
Oh, that is so true. That is so true.
You know how these things go.
Oh, yes. Yes, I know. Whew.
Really? Cinchona bark.
I have no idea what that is, but
Malaria this far north? That doesn't sound well, okay. That doesn't really sound right, but it is
maybe
the summer. Is it the summer?
I think it's the summer, but I also think that these troops traveled from the South. You remember how they came from Virginia?
That's the yeah.
And maybe they went through swamp areas where, there might have been some prevalence of malaria down
It
there.
could have been possible, and also if some of them came up from, the Caribbean, like Barbados, Jamaica,
Exactly.
and they may have had it before they got there. That's a good point.
Mhm.
I had to think about that. I'm like, malaria, that's just y'all way up too far north. You need to be literally near, like, the Georgia border.
Mhm.
Because for malaria, it's before quinine was available, I think. Yeah.
A theoretical doctor in 1700?
Interesting. Yeah, Linda, they are everywhere, but they're more prevalent in the South, and with the heat and with the stagnant water, especially the lower elevations, the lower country, there was always malaria season, which would start like in May and go like through to like September, October. So you had a lot of people who would die from that. So they would always have malaria season, yellow fever season.
And Anonymous says that's why they invented tonic water. Those gin and tonics.
Yep.
Yeah, sanitation was non-existent.
Yes, exactly. What? Who? Who?
Oh, 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 oh my God. Okay.
Yo, I got a story for you later on.
I didn't know he was a field doctor.
People are gonna think I'm making this up when I tell you.
Yeah, Linda, our faces. I'm just like, what? Wow. I love how Diana puts in these historical figures in this story.
Yes.
And Anonymous the Jinn was exactly a bonus.
Mm-hmm.
I'm concerned that this girl will be on her own somewhere and someone will hurt her in this environment, Lorena. The brother is a surgeon and she'll be doing something and she's kind of vulnerable. She has no escort, she has no chaperone.
All she has is her brother, and he's a Quaker, is pretty much a pacifist. And let's face it, he looks like he's more of a lover than a fighter.
Yeah.
He can't have like his hands cut up or or anything like that. Are you? That's not an answer.
Get off of your high horse, honey. Everybody's in love with Ian.
Hey now.
Mhm. So she can't be a Quaker anymore if she marries him. That's what they're
That
saying.
is correct. People were very tribal then. Um,
She's upset. Look at her.
Kind of keeping like to themselves, like Quakers marrying Quakers. Um, you had social stratifications that were going on at at the same time.
Yeah, and she clearly is upset by this, Lorena, and I think she knew that answer
Hmm.
already, but he
Yeah.
can't hide that he grew up around the natives. He can't hide that. It's in his blood now.
Hmm. Yep.
Mhm.
Yep. Who knows?
Wow. Don't tell him when. Don't say it. Okay.
I I will say that because I had a certain ancestor, Adam Smith, who at one time was brought up on charges. Supposedly, people thought that he was aiding and abetting Benedict Arnold, but it
Oh my
turns out that he was actually a double agent. Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. I love it, Lorena. I absolutely love your historical information. It is absolutely wonderful. Your American history.
That is nuts. I'm like, who? Yeah, and I read that. Yeah, it was crazy. He literally almost got hung by Washington.
Wow.
Literally almost got hung by that.
Wow. And Linda says he's got those face tattoos. Yeah, he can't hide that.
No. He's seen as, for lack of a better term, and people were not PC then, he was seen as a savage. That
Hmm.
was it. He wasn't one of the praying Indians. That's a distinction. He wasn't one of the praying Indians. He was basically a savage, and that's pretty much how they see him, unfortunately. Oh, thank you, Linda. I'm like, folks, I'm not making this stuff up. I'm like, this can't be true. Hey, Darth Plato.
Hi.
Oh my goodness, how tortured was he?
Well, this is very interesting because there was another. This is another earlier in the series. This is what Jamie does to raise money for his fight for Scottish independence, so to speak. And
Mm-hmm.
here we're seeing a similar scenario.
99. Mm-hmm.
They did this too with the fight of abolition. That famous slave who had all those scars on his back, and I think you remember the one
Mm-hmm.
to fight against slavery. So it's very effective. It moves a lot of people to their cause, and it's it was used in that manner. Because Jamie himself has scars on his back
Mm-hmm.
from a similar situation, and he did that. He did exactly what this guy is doing. Takes his shirt off to show those scars from the abuse of the British.
Exactly.
Wow, this is good. This
A
is
lot of
really
people
good.
don't realize just how brutal the British were in the colonies.
Mhm. And Darth Plato, this is 1770. What was it?
77.
77.
So conflict's been going on for about a year.
Anonymous is like 2023.
So you're dealing with right now, it's an unorganized, militia.
Ooh,
You've got like
damn.
teachers, farmers.
And it's so weird, Lorraine, now to see these guys in these red coats and guys hiding behind, like have taking cover and shooting away. Like it's you're like they're at an amusement park.
They pretty much did this because we did a lot of guerrilla warfare because that was the advantage that we had, is that we knew the land, we knew the lay of the land. The British were fighting this as if they were fighting the 7 Years War or the French and Indian War. Very outmoded European style warfare.
And what's really interesting about this, and I'm sure Linda might chime in about this because she knows what happens in the outcome, let's say, of this book, because it is fictitious, but it does have real life events circling around it. I don't know. You see, this is what I was curious about. Would he have to go ahead and take a shot at him, or would Jamie have someone take a shot at him? Like who's going to be shot at and who might die in this altercation? It's compelling. Oh my God, it's so compelling. Oh my God, the gun is pointed towards us.
Get that one.
Yes.
Woo! Oh, he missed on purpose.
But that's his son.
He missed on purpose.
That is
Oh,
his
wait, no, he
son.
didn't.
Isn't it, Lorena?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Mhm. Yes, this was a real battle. What I mean is, wouldn't
Yes,
it
it
be
was.
interesting if I don't know if Diana wrote in the story that Jamie was, a figure that would have a huge consequence on what the outcome is. Um,
Mhm.
it is very interesting though to see this.
Yes. This was a very, very real battle. And
Mhm.
the stakes were very high between declaring independence from England that first year, because you had France and Spain and Portugal looking to see what was going to happen, and if it was going to be some. I mean, they're the biggest military, most powerful military in the world. They should be able to solve this rebellion, right?
Exactly, and exactly, Linda. There's Jamie's son, and this is a real British general and a cousin in the books. And what's even more interesting about this is that the time traveler's dilemma, right, Lorena and Linda?
Yes.
Do you go back in time and change things? Even is your soul, even just being there, would it change the outcome of something as profound as this,
Mm-hmm.
the American Revolutionary War? What a thought, right? I don't know what
Yeah.
happens here. Yes, Anonymous, it certainly was, right? This is
Yes.
wonderful what they've done, isn't it?
Very, very accurate.
Oh, oh my gosh, he's in the fort or wherever this thing is.
Mm-hmm. Apparently, with the Battle of Saratoga, from what I remember, this was a serious turning point in the
Oh,
Revolutionary War.
oh, I'm sorry.
Now, because the British were kicking our asses, and around, with Saratoga, it proved that the Patriots could actually, once it was proven that they could actually beat the British, that's when you have blood in the water.
Absolutely, the rain. Oh no! Oh my God! It's not William, is it? No.
Oh,
Oh, it's a different man. Oh goodness gracious. Darth,
Hessians. Dang.
yes. Oh, is that Ian? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, Ian. Yes. Sorry.
He just capped a Hessian.
I love you, Ian. I love this guy's coated in blood. Well, he's not coated. He probably put
For
the color
people
on.
who don't know, Hessians were Prussian
Mhm.
mercenaries. And a lot of the patriots did not appreciate England bringing paid mercenaries into a conflict that they thought should just be between them.
Exactly, Lorena. Oh my.
Yep, Saratoga and Concord. Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me see if I can get my Bluetooth connected again. It disconnected. Why would it disconnect at this point? There we go. Please stay connected. And let's go back to yes. Okay. Where are we at? 3823. Come on.
Yeah, just not the way you think.
Mhm. And Linda says, yep, in the books, when they try to change things, it didn't work out. Okay. So there is kind of a trend of, they don't have an influence over history. Something would happen that would reset it so it was supposed to happen. Thank you so much, Linda, for sharing that and
Yes.
letting us know, because that's something, of course, I wondered about, and I'm sure everybody's wondering about. Um, Anonymous is LMFAO. Yes. I'm
Mhm.
right in the middle of this. My Bluetooth that's connected to the sound disconnected. So I'm like, oh, quick, reattach, connect. And Darth Plato, thank you. It says governments were trying to phase out mercenary use by that time. Louis the 14th was really the first to put his foot down about that.
Ah, interesting. Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, goodness gracious. Um, Linda says one of the big things about Washington beating the Hessians at Trenton was that it was a big deal to beat them. The Hessians had a huge reputation for being the best fighters. Well, they certainly had the best helmet.
Yes, they most certainly did. And having the Hessians, um, around was a big thorn in the side to English speaking Germans who had been living in the American colonies. A lot of them were suspected as being like spies for the Hessians, and yet
Exactly.
another part to the conflict, because a lot of them had to prove that they were, it's like, no, we're loyal to, this country. We're loyal, quote unquote, British citizens. We're not, trying to subvert things. To who? Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Is this the moment that they surrender?
I think so.
Oh my gosh. This would not be a bad way to end the season. And I'm not going to lie, I really enjoyed seeing Ian pound that Hessian down. It was like,
Yeah,
yeah.
that was.
Oh dear.
Oh Lord, you know it's bad, and you be taking your hat off. Yeah, he got gut shot. That nothing you can do for that.
Yeah, even she's stepping back.
This is so sad. Darth Plato, you mean von Steuben, right? Frederick von Steuben. Because in King of Prussia, we actually have a couple of streets named after him, and you're absolutely right.
And Darth Plato says America had Prussian help. Frederick the Great's ADC became Washington's quartermaster and brought
Yes,
Prussian training methods.
yes, that is Friedrich von Steuben.
And here, of course, this is Jamie's son, William.
Yeah, that was a hard thing about this conflict when you had relatives or family who were on opposite sides of uh of this conflict. You see my share.
Mm. And Darth Plato goes on to say a thing about Hessians, sometimes it's hard for kinsmen to fight each other. So bringing in a different group to replace the reluctant fighters. Hmm. Yes.
Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, I find that a very interesting statement considering what, like 80 or so years ago after independence, we had the Civil War,
Yeah.
and we're literally fighting kinsmen here.
I don't know if William knows this is his father.
I don't think he does. Of course, there's the one man that he's always known as his father. Again, no one can throw shade quite like the British.
Poor son. That's one I've got to put down on my list.
Yeah. Yeah. Then we here in America, we put a turn on that particular phrase.
And Lorraine, you've got to watch the episode of how he, his son came about. It is, oh my gosh, you're gonna love it. Whew, that season.
I have so much to catch up on.
And Anonymous reminds us that these injuries and these conflicts were terrible, worse than today, and no way to really treat them. Says Lynn.
That's right.
And he does look quite sharp with the hat on, I must say.
Mm-hmm. You got a battlefield promotion, son.
That's right. And Darth Widow says, for example, in World War I, Slavs in Austria-Hungary were sent to Carpathia front to fight the Russians, but they were hesitant because of the Slavic shared roots. So the Slavs transferred to the Italian front instead, where they had no issue shooting the Italians.
Oh.
I wonder why. I've never even heard of this before.
I haven't either.
Now they gave him a compliment, which is rare. They don't give out compliments very much.
Mm-hmm.
This is the 7th season, Bonzo. This is the mid-season finale. After this season, there's 8 episodes this year, 8 episodes next year, and then there's going to be a prequel series, Bonzo, because we just can't get enough of this kind of a series. Bonzo, you missed all the raunchy stuff, Bonzo. Oh, there will? Wait a minute, Linda. What?
Huh?
What? Wait a minute. What? Linda, what? Hold on.
I'm going to Google this.
Hold on, Linda. Wait a minute. I really like the blue outfit, the blue uniform, Lorena. What do you think?
I'm sorry, hold on a second.
So
the Patriot.
Yeah, I
Patriot
really
uniform?
like that blue with the white going, the off-white color going down. I really like it.
They are very sharp. I've seen some of them preserved at the Valley Forge Visitor Center and also at the Museum Museum of the American Revolution, which is in downtown Philadelphia. It's so cool. Although they're wool, which means it's hot as heck in the summer.
Yeah, wool was really the only option. And they needed to be wool. That was the go-to material, right?
Yes, it was.
Linda. Oh my God, Linda. Oh my God. I can't even respond right now, Linda. So it just so happens that they want to return his body to Scotland, and Jamie has to take the body back so they can get back to Scotland like they wanted to.
Yeah, Linda, I just saw this. Outlander renewed for 8th and final season on Stars.
And what date is that, Lorena?
Uh, let's
Because
see.
when we started this, this was the final season.
Well, it looks like this was announced in January.
And was I off, Linda? I thought this was the last season. Gosh, I got it all wrong. I look at Linda.
Wow.
I'll take what I can get.
Shoot. Same here.
Well,
Let's go into Scotland.
we are going to Scotland. We're getting another year. So that means like 2 or 3 more years of Outlander. Lorraine, we have time to catch up on the earlier seasons. I think
Yes.
I have to go ahead. Oh, she found it out at a podcast. Thank you. Thank
Oh.
you so much, Linda and Lorena. I can't even tell you. She needs to go with them. Go to Scotland. I'm sorry. Go to Scotland. Go
Yeah,
to
leave.
Scotland.
Just roll out.
Her people left Europe because of oppression, right?
Yes, they did.
And then they'll do the prequel after
Ah,
season 8,
okay.
which would be like in a few years.
Okay. Okay.
I love
They're on
Outlander.
Stars. They'll be doing fine.
Come on, girl. Come on. You can do it, Ian. Ask her.
You want me
What?
to watch your dog?
She's not going? What?
Because I love you. Yes, I love you.
Now I'm guessing that the daughter is better and she can travel now, maybe, or is it just
hmm
the husband and the other relative will go back? What do you think, Lorena?
I'm not sure. I think all of them are going to go, right? Oh, or just he's going to go.
I don't know. I have no idea. I think they should all go, but maybe she needs to stay there. Maybe the daughter needs that treatment, right? Remember that's why she
hmm
came back. Yeah, it
Yeah,
looks like they're not all going.
yeah. So he's just going. You bringing your grandpa with you?
And Anonymous says, I am half Scottish. My mom was Scottish on the Celtic side. Well, Anonymous, thank you for sharing that. Certainly, there's a lot of
You.
Scottish history in this series.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there are interesting point of interest when the British took over Florida. They brought the Scots in to trade with the Indians.
Oh, and Linda says that Mandy, little girl's heart is all fixed, so she's fine. But
Oh, okay.
they're staying in 1980. Um, I don't think I could watch my loved one go on the journey. Like it would be hard for me to watch. I'd have to cover my eyes. I wouldn't want to see them disappear.
Mm-mm. I love that dog. He's so cute. Oh, who are you?
Uh-oh. That's the bad guy. The one who wants to kill Ian. She should have gone with him. Are you kidding? He's going to do something bad to her. I
Did
don't
y'all not read the Brothers Grimm? Little Red Riding Hood, you don't talk to strangers, you just do the polite, how you doing?
and they are finally on their way. Um and certainly once they reach there, I'm guessing Lorena, they are going to run into Bree's husband and grandfather, and maybe they will be able to help
Mhm.
him get the child back. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness gracious. I don't want this to end. This has been so good.
That's a nice shit.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
Gorgeous.
See, now he should have leave the dog there and take the girl. That's the case, but he shouldn't have left both of them behind. It's very, very. I think it's a bad idea, but
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes.
and yes, Mr. Bug. Linda says, "I don't want to have to wait till next year. We don't want to either, Linda. None of us do."
Land ho, right?
Hmm? It sure
There
is.
you go. Yep.
Oh God, it's so good.
And those ships didn't have the nice, what I would say, like dampeners or whatever, like on the cruise ships. That was hard getting used to on a cruise ship walking. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't walk straight.
What a beautiful sight it is.
Mm-hmm. Scotland. You're so happy.
Hmm. I'm so happy for them. Oh my goodness gracious. Yeah, Linda, that was very quick.
I know. Wasn't it like 3 months to get there? Shoot.
Oh my goodness gracious. Um yeah. Oh my goodness gracious. Um well, Lorena, that was the first 8 episodes of season 7 of Outlander. Um
Mhm.
what's going through your mind right now, Lorena?
I'm worried about Rachel and that dog right now because I have a feeling that Mr. Bug is going to exact a certain amount of vengeance. So I'm worried. Really worried about her.
I wouldn't be surprised if she ends up getting married to him. You know, he might exact that level of pain on this chick.
Oh yeah, especially yeah, he might wear her down. That's gonna be interesting.
He might, and you know, he could say he, for all we know, actually he might be a Quaker. I don't remember. But you know, regardless of what the situation is, he could join the community and suddenly, you know, become a practicing friend, and the next thing you know, her life is forever changed. So yes, Bonzo, they do go back and forth between let's say our century, our past century, and the 1700s. Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Following two timelines at the same time generally. So yes, that is part of the story. Uh, yeah, I think it is very interesting that we finally got Jamie and Claire and Ian back to Scotland, which is something they've been trying to do for a while. Ironically, that commander wanted him to take his body back to Scotland. That threw me for a surprise. What did you think about that, Lorena? Were you expecting that?
Um, I hadn't, but given the context of the of the time period, it doesn't surprise me. The colonies were basically, the Maple Republic, so it's like going back to the land that he considers, home does make sense that would happen. And convenient way to get Jamie and Claire and Ian back to Scotland.
It really is. Do you think they will find this guy, this man who kidnapped their grandchild? Can you imagine their shock when they find out what has happened. I have a feeling they're going to run into um, Bree's husband. And when they find out that their grandchild is missing, I think that Jamie and Claire are going to go nuts. What do you think?
I agree.
Yeah. Um, I just was so pleased with these 8 episodes. Certainly had a lot in it. We have to wait till next year for the next 8 episodes. And then there's going to be another 16 episodes. I'm guessing maybe 16 after that, which will be the final season. So this is not the final season. I don't know why I thought it was the final season, but it doesn't matter. I'm just so happy that there is another season. I really am just so pleased as punch. Lorraine, maybe you and I will look at that season where Jamie finally meets. Well, I don't know. Maybe we'll start looking at. We could do some watches. Maybe we could do 2 episodes at a time and do a
Mhm.
season and go through there if you have the time. I know we're both pressed for time, but I certainly would like you to see what happens early on. I think there might be more episodes in some of the earlier seasons. I have to just make sure I know what I'm talking about.
When,
Uh,
when do those rest of the episodes drop in January?
this is a good question. Linda, do you happen to know when the additional episodes drop? Because Lorena, the first season had 16 episodes, so that's what we know. That's normal.
That
Maybe every
was that
season
one.
does have 16 episodes. So let's see. That one has 13. That's the second. The third season has, so it varies. That one has 13 episodes.
Mhm.
Yeah, we got to start watching some of these. I don't know how we're going to do it. I'm just so like we could binge watch them too. That would certainly. Okay, so Linda's giving us some very interesting information. Unfortunately, it's all blended together, so I don't remember exactly what happens
Mhm.
with Gemma and Cameron, and of course we're Gemma.
Ah,
Um,
okay.
you know, we're talking about the child that was kidnapped, and Cameron is the
Mhm.
bad guy who's kidnapped him. That's okay. I guess we will find out, Linda. The lead guy is a little too handsome. Oh, yes, you're talking about Sam Heughan, the guy who I met. He is wonderful.
So jealous.
Oh, he looks exactly like this. There's no makeup on this man. He looks exactly like what we're looking at.
Wow.
Yes, it's unbelievable. When I met him at New York Comic Con last year, certainly was one of the highlights of my year. And I didn't know how cool it was going to be. I mean, I knew he was cool. It's just I wasn't
Mhm.
expecting something like this, Lorena. I wanted him to be like this, but this was maybe perhaps beyond all of my expectations. Seeing him this way, and I still am actually just so pleased that I went to see him because um, I wasn't honestly quite sure because they had different packages. And Lorraine, you remember when I was going to go and I was telling you, I said, "Well, should this package costs $500 and you get to
Mhm.
sit with him?" And I was like, I don't know whether I could spend $500 just to sit with Sam Heughan. And so I
Mhm.
found a package that was less money. They gave you so many opportunities to see him. They were on 2 panels on 2 different days. He had a night session, and then you could get an autograph and a picture, and you could meet him like for a meet and greet. I felt like that was really giving you, as a person going to a con, so many
Mhm.
chances to meet with somebody who you're a big fan with, because they don't always do that. You don't always get a chance to see a
Mhm.
person so often like that under different price points. And of course, there I am. That's me, of course. And there's Sam Heughan at the table with his I think that's his agent. And this is really just such a great moment. And we were not supposed to take a picture of that, but the lady was like, "Let me take your picture." She's, "If you take my picture, I'll take yours." I'm like, "Okay," and I'm like, "It
Okay.
says no pictures," and I'm like, "Screw this." She's like, "No, just do it quickly." So we did it like very quickly. I'm not selling that picture. No one's gonna see that
I
picture.
don't blame. Yeah.
But the point is that he is stunning. He's a nice man. They have numbers of appearances, and Linda already knows this. You know, the viewership is worldwide. They have events worldwide. All the ladies online who were going to go meet him were telling me about everything
Mhm.
that I should know about about Outlander, and you know, all the meetups and things. And I'm sure Linda's familiar with it. So certainly there's a lot of that. I just want to say thank you to Lugnuts, who says, "Thank you, ladies, for always letting me capture your hearts and share a kiss
Thank
on a
you.
rose with you both." Well, right back at you, Lugnuts. We absolutely loved that kiss and a rose.
Oh, thank you.
And Linda says, I don't think they will be back until spring, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, I think, Linda, you're right. What do you think, Lorraine? You're probably right.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, I'm
And
thinking usually it's I think like around March or something like that, or
yeah,
maybe May. Who knows?
no, you're absolutely right. It probably is around that time. Here's another one. This is this is one that I took. There's me. Oops. Can I keep it? Will it work? All right, I'll do it this way. You know, I'm totally enjoying every second of this. So I'm sorry you guys have to be subjected to this, but hell, you know, I don't care at this point. Um, I can't keep the picture straight. Oh, because
Oh no!
I didn't adjust the picture correctly. Wait a minute. I'm going to
Oh
edit it.
no!
And yeah, guys, thank you for putting up with this. And Lorena, thank you guys for just putting up with this right now. You guys are the best. Thank you. You know I
Oh,
totally love this.
you're
Here we
welcome.
go. There I am. No, I don't want to select the photo. I just want to show you guys a picture of me. I am so pleased as punch in this picture, Lorena. There I am. Look at my face. Look, I'm on cloud freaking nine, right?
I see you. You're like, I'm so happy.
And there's Sam in the background. I am like just
Wow.
it is so, I'm
Oh
just
my
like,
gosh.
yes,
That is
yes, like, oh,
insane.
he was such a gentleman. And
Wow.
Reina, the other guys from the series too, where there were two other guys. So it was like him and the guy who took
Mhm.
care of his son was there, and another gentleman.
Oh.
Oh, the other gentleman was in Game of Thrones. You'd recognize him. It was just amazing that they did this. Yes, binge and wine sounds fine, right, Anonymous? That would be great. Binge and
Oh
wine,
yeah.
Outlander season one. Maybe we
Always
should
good
do
binge and wine.
something like that in the wintertime when when it's cold outside, and you know, we're stuck indoors. Maybe we could do something like that for seasons 1 and 2 and 3. Lugnut says, let's hope the writer's strike and actors strike and soon. When you know something, Lugnuts, I think this is Diana Galbandon is the one who's writing most of this. I don't know whether I think they probably already filmed the last 8 episodes. So I don't think it will be affected. Linda says, I almost went to one of those creation conventions for Outlander, but they haven't had another in a while. Yeah, Linda, that's why. And I remember, I very specifically, you remember, Lorena, I was talking to you because I felt like the price was, they had different levels. They had, you know, the Claire level, or, you know, such and such level. And then they had the
Mhm.
Sassenach level. The Sassenach level was $1,000.
Oh shoot.
And
Oh
thousand
man.
dollars, you got to go to all the panels. You got to meet him personally. You got 30 minutes alone with him.
Mhm.
Well, not alone, but you got to speak to him for 30 minutes.
Yes.
You got a photo, you got a picture, and you could see the ladies who were Assassinach level. They were like,
Mhm.
"We're Assassinach level," and I'm like, "Lucky, you're so lucky, you're Assassinach level." You know, like you just kind of like, "Oh, they're gonna go meet him," and I'm like, "That's the room for the Assassinach level." They, you know, like I wouldn't be surprised. It really was, and it sold out rather quickly. You know how sometimes it sells out rather quickly, Linda. I don't know whether he's going to be at the next New York Comic Con, but it sold out
Mhm.
very quickly. And they were like, "Oh, you can meet Sam Heughan at Sasha level," and I remember my mom was like, "Well, can I go?" And I'm like, "Well, Mom, I don't know if we can both do $1,000. Like that'd be 2,000, and that's kind of like I can't justify that." And she's like, well, you know, I'm 80 and I don't know the next time I'm like, yeah, that is kind of true too. But in the end she didn't go, although I had tickets for her to go see him the same way I saw him. She wasn't feeling well to go. So but yeah, Anonymous says stop putting us
Put
hands.
those hands on the gosh. You're too funny.
Oh, Linda, thank you for saying this. I've paid over 1,000 to sit in the front row.
Oh my gosh.
Linda, you are one of us, right, Lorena?
Whew, I haven't paid that kind of money in a long, long time. I think the last time I paid money like that was to see the 4 Star Trek captains. Yeah,
Oh my god.
yeah, and that was, like, years ago.
Oh
It was a lot of freaking
god,
money.
it's totally worth it though. Oh my god.
Yeah, it was, I'm not gonna lie, it was.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, there are some very special moments, and it's okay. Like, I don't really think it's about. I think we pick and choose what we can do, and we
That's
enjoy
true.
it. And
Mhm,
to even have the opportunity at all to even do these things is wonderful. The panels. If you're like you bought a ticket and you got one day and that panel is there, it's absolutely wonderful. Um, yes, there is some weather. Yes. What do you do for the hurricane? Um,
hurricane,
oh, water is one of the things that you make sure you want to have some water in case the water gets shut off. And
batteries,
batteries, maybe
lights,
right enough food for 3 days,
non-perishable
right?
food, uh, what
And
else?
know
Those are
your
the major
evacuation
things.
plan if you have to
Yes.
evacuate. Um,
Yes.
make sure you have an alternative place to stay if that happens, and
Mhm,
also keep I know it's sort of like near the San Diego area. Keep an idea of what's going on by communicating with people, and of course, after the event happens, and if it does,
mhm,
God forbid, turn out to be horrible, let people know you're safe and okay, for sure. And we hope you stay safe,
mhm.
Bonzo.
Yes, and if they tell you to evacuate, do not wait.
Hmm.
Do it. I highly suggest making sure that your car is gassed up just in case they give you the order.
Absolutely, and have an extra gas can in the tank, just in case you're there for a few hours. And I think you know what I
Mhm.
mean, Lorena.
Yep.
Um, and I got somewhat lucky in a natural disaster here in New York, and I went to the gas station, and I had a car at the time, and I said fill it up, and the gas station guy goes, well, where are your gas tanks? And I said, well, gas cans. I said, I got a few in the trunk. He's like, well, open them up and I'll fill them up. And I said, okay. I didn't know it would be important. And of course, sure enough, I ended up using one and giving one to somebody who needed gas, which was something that I didn't think I'd ever do. But
Right.
sometimes sometimes you end up being the cause, the person that assists. So I was like, oh, you need some gas? Here you go. There you go. And it was certainly not anything I had even thought about. So get some gas cans, and fill those up to have them at the ready sometimes, as
Mhm.
Lorena has pointed out, and I have. It may come in handy. Linda says, and this isn't including a photo, just autographs. Yes, I know, Linda. Yep, the photos $50, the autographs $50, the
Mhm.
photo. It's all money, and certainly I didn't get the photo. I just wanted to see him.
Mhm.
So I got an autograph photo. I didn't take a photograph with him. I kind of regret it because you know what happens to me, Lorraine? Every time I want to take a photograph, I always say, because I noticed that like you can really kind of snuggle in close to everybody, but you haven't been able
Mhm.
to do that with COVID recently. You haven't been able to do that, but it's coming back. And so I always
Mhm.
say, when I take that photo, I'm gonna like put my arms around the person, and I never do. It's like a general photo. I'm like, I just my arm is there. I'm not too close. I'm not too far.
Mhm.
I don't do the whole like, I don't do that. And I'm like, I should have done that. Linda says,
Yeah, girl.
I'd love to see the Star Trek captains. Linda, yeah, right. Oh my gosh, that must have been.
Yeah, that was amazing. I will never forget that.
Hmm. And Bonzo says the 4 captains. Was this before Star Trek
Yes.
Enterprise?
Yes. Yes, it was.
All right, that must have been amazing.
Yeah, it was fun.
And Anonymous says always have a bug out bag. Yes,
That's right.
yes, certainly something to think about. Linda says Avery Brooks doesn't come to the conventions anymore. I haven't seen him recently.
I I don't think he does. I think the last convention that I saw him in was Collector Mania in Manchester. Was it? I think it was Manchester. Was it Manchester? I think it was Manchester. Or was it Milton Keynes? No, no, no. No, it was no, 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 it wasn't. No, it wasn't. Was it in I think it was. I think it was Manchester. Yes.
Wow.
But I don't think no, I don't think that he does. A lot of them don't really do conventions the way that they used to.
Yeah, I mean, they had something in Vegas a few weeks ago, or maybe a week or so ago.
Mhm.
And, I don't know who was there. I mean, these past few years have been very different with the COVID situation, but I'm hoping now
Right.
things are back to normal. And you're right. I mean, a lot of them are not doing that. Hopefully, things will change a little bit. I kind of was hoping after Picard season three, I would see a bunch of people from Picard season three at the conventions, and I'm not seeing a whole bunch of them at the conventions. So, perhaps for
Mhm.
whatever reason they can't make it. We don't know what people's schedules are like. Um,
I
oh,
think Walter Koenig put a tweet out that said, "Come see me before I die."
aw,
I'm like, dude, really?
we will. We will come see you.
That's like it's funny but sad at the same time because so many of the original series actors are no longer with us.
It is. And Linda says in the photos, you get to hug them now again. Yes, Linda is noticing a lot of people are doing that. And I'm
Oh,
like,
okay,
hugging is
good.
back. But like I said, Lorraine, like in my mind, I'm like, I'm going to hug this person. And as soon as the photo, it's like, it's like I just go into this, just stand there, smile, don't get too close. It's like weird. Um,
Wow.
I have to like remember you have to hug this person. You gotta hug this person, like Bonzo Kilborn says Avery Brooks is super retired from all things acting. They barely got him to be in the movie about DS9.
Oh, yeah, yeah, he pretty much is. I mean, when I saw him, it was pretty much I think they just barely got him, and the show wasn't really going on. So, he's pretty much just retired and like out there. I'm pretty sure Patrick Stewart isn't really, well, I ever seen him like really being at conventions or anything like that. And I mean Star Trek isn't as, let's put it this way, it's the Kurtzman Trek that's out right now. Not really, you know, I call it the OG, the OG Trek, and things are kind of different from the way that they used to be. You don't necessarily have to be there in person. You can stream them, and it's just, I don't know, it's just not as big as a thing as it used to be with the Star Trek properties.
Yeah, and Anonymous says Milton Keynes, UK, the land of thousand roundabouts.
You are not kidding. I'm like, holy.
Yes. Lorena, can you hear me?
Shoot,
I
sorry. Was that
Okay,
me?
there we
I
go.
think I tapped my I think I tapped my
It's
mic. I'm
okay.
sorry.
It's okay. Tell us what you were going to say about Milton Keys again because I couldn't hear that.
Oh, sorry, sorry. Yeah, Milton Keynes. Yes, 1,000 roundabouts. It seemed like everywhere we were going, there was a roundabout, and we go through like this nice little quaint area. Milton Keynes is another roundabout, and I thought I would never see roundabouts again. And then visited Cape Cod. Roundabouts all over the freaking place. I'm like, this sucks.
And Linda says Walter Koenig is now like 86. Yeah.
Yeah, he's up there. He's up there in age.
Linda says in one of my supernatural photos, Jarek Padalecki just wrapped his arm around me from behind. I didn't expect it. I was already hugging Jensen.
Oh my.
Well, I have to say, Lorena, and honestly, everybody in the chat, it's been such a pleasure, um, watching these 8 episodes, talking about everything that we've been seeing, going
Mhm.
down a lot of historical events, certainly learning more about the Outlander universe. And Lorena, it's been such a pleasure having you here. Thank you for watching this with me. Thank you so.
Oh, well, you are very welcome. It has been an absolute pleasure watching this series with you.
Well, I'm so glad. I'm delighted that you're here. And for everybody in the chat, Linda, thank you so much for being so generous with your information as well. Yes, Linda, we're going to do that, right, Lorena? We could do some rewatch parties
Do
for.
some rewatch parties.
We're
Yeah.
going to do it, Linda. We're going to do this. I'm committing to it, my dear. Certainly, we will do these rewatch parties, Linda, and we're going to enjoy ourselves. This is a time to enjoy the fandom. I think this is a great time to be a fan of Outlander. It certainly is a great time. Fandom feels like it's coming back. Movies feel like they're coming back. And a
Hmm.
lot of positivity out there. Lorena, I just saw Blue Beetle today and I loved it. So,
Hmm.
I think we could talk about Blue Beetle too going forward.
You know what happens when I give you that look.
I know, I know, but
It's
I know.
how would I put this? Excellent family movie,
Yes,
superhero movie, not so much.
yeah, it is, and it does feel like a starter film, and I'm not going to say it's entirely made for children, but it does feel that way. Um, a coming of age story, only because
Very much so.
the part in the beginning where they're about to kiss each other and then like somebody walks in, like the parent or uncle walks in and they're like, hey,
Yeah, the uncle walks in.
and I'm like, this is straight out of the, I've got my girlfriend in the bedroom and my parents don't know she's here
Hmm.
story. So and that's okay. I think it was for that crowd and let them enjoy themselves and enjoy being teenagers. And he is hot enough.
Absolutely.
God knows he is
Absolutely.
hot enough, my God.
Absolutely. I laughed so much throughout this movie.
And Linda, we are going to have those rewatch parties and we will inform you and let you know when.
Hmm.
Anonymous says, ladies, you are welcome for my presence. Thank you so much, Anonymous.
Thank
We
you, my
love
dear.
you.
Thank you
It's
so
such a
much.
pleasure. And Linda says, thumbs up. I'm assuming Linda will be there. Linda, we love having you here. Guys, I want to thank everybody in the chat for being here. Lorena, where can people find you?
Well, folks, of course, you can find me on Twitter, you can find me on Instagram, and you can find me on YouTube for various live streams and videos for pop culture, sci fi analysis, and of course, theme park streams. Tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern, I'm going to be streaming live from Universal Orlando. The scare zones for Halloween Horror Nights are going up, and they have already got some of the props set up in front of where the Last of Us haunted house
I
is
can't
going
wait to
to
see that.
be. So we're going to have fun exploring all of that, seeing all the stuff that's there. And 8 p.m. tomorrow, we're going to have a watch party with her and with Dante of Verbal Riot Show. We're going to be watching the movie Do the Right Thing, Spike Lee's I believe second movie. He did one before that. But yeah, second film and arguably his best. So please do check out that. And of course, Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern, the video premiere of Toxic Male Appreciation. We're going to be talking Simon Pegg. And 8 p.m. on Sunday, of course, is the Welcome to Florida show where we just look at all the crazy just stories coming out of Florida that we can fit in, a 90-minute show, which we never do. But
And it's real. It's 100% real.
yes, it is real. So real that it's just like, I really can't say if that isn't a real Florida story. It's like I just can't.
Absolutely. And Lorena, you and I do a show on Monday nights on the Burnettwork called Ladies of the PGS, where we
Mhm.
talk about topics in the fandom. We're going to be doing that on Monday as well. And of course, guys, you can find me here on Positive Fandom and on the Burnettwork, on the 1/6 Scale Man Network, on Lorena's channel, as well as El Profesoro's channel. Guys, thank you so much for
Mhm.
being here. We're so grateful. Such a great time enjoying such a fantastic series. And thank you everybody for giving your comments. No, Bonzo, I don't. Although I was in a PhD program once. Um, have a lovely evening to you, Bonzo. So great to see you here. And everybody, enjoy the rest of your night or day or wherever you are. Just want to say I'm so thankful for you all being here, enjoying
Mhm.
this great show with us. And guys, remember, no matter where you are in the galaxy, always remember to please be kind. Take care, everybody.